Just for those who are just wondering about, names like NVIDIA, and it's like near a $4 trillion market cap, and whether or not, if there is a bit of a rollover in the market, are those big AI companies at risk to losing momentum? What would you say from all your experience in investing in tech over the years?
Certainly, like the hopes and dreams of many are kind of pinned on the likes of an NVIDIA and basically all the Mag 7 names. And so, if any of them show a pullback in spending, cooling of demand, I mean that's going to have ramifications not just for those stocks but for the entire market because they compose such a big piece of the overall markets. I would say, though, that, a name like NVIDIA, it's basically traded flat for about a year, from last June until just maybe a couple of weeks ago. It had finally kind of broke out just in the last, I think, 10 days to kind of all-time highs. It's at like 159 now and stuff. And so the thing with NVIDIA is that if you look at the historical comps on sort of like a forward, enterprise value to EBITDA metric, you'd say, hey, this is cheap relative to the range where it's traded at for NVIDIA over its sort of life cycle. There's been sort of ups and downs, euphoria and kind of despair. And it's sort of traded not just at the mean, but sort of below the mean, towards the despair level. And I think it was just skepticism, pent-up skepticism that, this company, which is so big already, delivering billions, 40, $50 billion of revenue a quarter, could you really keep that up and in fact grow it, at an accelerated pace to kind of justify an increase in the stock price? And I just think that we're seeing, no pullback in kind of interest in AI. So I'm still bullish, kind of longer term about NVIDIA and the market in general.
Yeah. Right.
Although NVIDIA has already surpassed a $3.9 trillion market valuation this year, a prominent Wall Street analyst believes that the company's run may not be finished yet. Five-star analyst Vijay Rakesh of Mizuho Securities has raised his price target for NVIDIA from $170 to $185 while maintaining a buy recommendation. That suggests a gain of almost 16% from the current level. And yes, that comes after a year in which the stock has already increased by 27%. Rakesh is confident not only in momentum, but also in product strength, sustained demand, and NVIDIA's capacity to circumvent export constraints through innovative chip techniques. According to the analyst, NVIDIA will generate $202 billion in sales in FY 2026, which is more than previous projections, and $4.38 in earnings per share, which is somewhat higher than the street consensus. As AI workloads increase, he is optimistic that the company can continue to prosper and that its flagship GB200 chips will continue to be in high demand until late 2025. One of the note's more intriguing passages? Rakesh mentioned NVIDIA's B40 chip, which was made for China, as a safety net in case trade regulations loosen. He interprets the current embargo on shipments as evidence that NVIDIA is not retreating from the market. Rather, it is simply waiting for the door to open again. In addition, NVIDIA's next-generation platform, Rubin, is anticipated to ramp in 2026. This, along with the continued demand from hyperscalers, may pave the way for another growth cycle despite the incredible gains of the previous 18 months. Rakesh also changed his valuation multiple, using a 32.7x multiple on FY 2027 earnings. This is a slight increase from the previous one, but he contends that it is still warranted given NVIDIA's overwhelming dominance in enterprise computing, AI data centers, and state-of-the-art inference technology. NVIDIA has overcome general market anxiety to emerge as one of the largest stock market winners of the year. It is essential for chip stock investors since its widely used GPUs have been the benchmark for enabling AI innovations. Furthermore, NVIDIA still has a lot of energy left in the tank even though it reached record highs this year. In order to further differentiate itself in the data center market, it is preparing to launch its next-generation GPU system. With new approvals, the runway is looking long, and if everything goes according to plan, the Chip King's hold over AI may get stronger. With each chip line surpassing the previous by a significant margin, it is reasonable to refer to NVIDIA's GPU portfolio as a series of little revolutions. Ampere, a significant improvement in performance per watt lift and strengthened tensor cores, was the first. The hyperscalers, who sought to power anything from early AI proofs of concept to recommendation systems, loved Ampere. Next was Hopper. To enable LLMs to train more quickly without going over budget, NVIDIA modified its CPUs, added a unique transformer engine, and increased NVIDIA Link performance. Hopper solidified NVIDIA's leadership position in both large-scale data centers and research labs. Blackwell Ultra, which followed, improved the game by using lag-cutting techniques, quicker memory, and more intelligent data management. With real-time video, large-scale simulations, and fast data processing, generative AI suddenly came into its own. Blackwell's successor, Rubin, now boasts a 3.3x speed boost. You can fit a lot more AI workloads into the same rack thanks to that leap, which isn't your typical clock speed increase. Businesses can run many models at once to its liquid-cooled design, high-bandwidth memory interface, and next-generation tensor cores. So, what implications does this have for NVIDIA's stock? Let's explore that. But first, a big thank you to those of you who've stuck with us this far. Creating these videos takes significant effort and dedication, so if you're enjoying the content, please hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and share your thoughts on NVIDIA stock in the comments. Your support truly helps us grow. Now, let's get back to the video. NVIDIA has shifted its focus from being the chip king to looking at larger humanoid robots. This week, as the company's market capitalization approached $3.89 trillion, CEO Jensen Huang stood on stage in Paris and stated rather bluntly that he thinks robotics has the potential to become the world's largest business. That may sound lofty, but so was AI a few years ago, yet NVIDIA currently controls that market as well. Huang unveiled Aeon, a full-stack humanoid robot created in collaboration with Sweden's Hexagon at the VivaTech conference. It is actually created, functional, and geared for real-world deployment. It is not a sci-fi notion or mock-up. Predictions are beginning to catch up. Analysts now predict that NVIDIA's robotics and automotive segment would generate $7.55 billion by the early 2030s, up from $1.7 billion in fiscal 2024. Should Aeon achieve commercial success, their estimates may turn out to be overly low. Things appeared more precarious earlier this year. Some instability was caused by the United States' restrictions on chip exports to China. Traders became uneasy and NVIDIA's stock fell. The halt, however, was short-lived, as the stock is already up 19% for the year and is once again the most valuable public business in the world. The larger tale? It's possible that robots, rather not merely silicon, will soon adorn that crown. Seasonality also works in NVIDIA's favor. Historically, Q3 has seen an average rise of about 4%. However, Q4 is when things really take off. According to Dow Jones data, NVIDIA has averaged a 23% surge in the last quarter. The robotics momentum combined with that pattern may pave the way for a breakout into much higher valuation area. As a business that not only climbed the AI summit, but may now have the means to construct whole new mountains, NVIDIA is already in a class by itself. NVIDIA still has unexplored runways while other tech companies are growing. Huang is aware that robotics could be the next trillion-dollar catalyst. NVIDIA is about $50 billion away from Microsoft's record-breaking market capitalization as of this week. By tomorrow or maybe next week, that number might drop. To stay informed about the latest developments from NVIDIA and the ever-changing stock market, consider subscribing to our investing tutorial channel. We provide daily updates on significant market shifts and key catalysts, so hit that subscribe button to ensure you never miss crucial information. We'd love to hear your thoughts on NVIDIA stock, so please share your opinions in the comments below. Now, let's dive into today's video.
Makes sense when you look at the chart.
Well, sure. I mean, as you said, Diane, we're up about 75% from those April lows, coming in near 86.62. From there, the price has had a strong rally, but you can see the trajectory has slowed a little bit here. We had our steeper blue trend line going across the lows. It's transitioned more to this white channel between our two dashed lines there, culminating with the highs here near 158.71. So now we are giving back a bit of the gains here. We are slipping back below these old highs, a double top here at our red line near about 153. That would be an important mark for the bulls to recover above and hold on to today. We can also see, though, that for a while during this kind of grind to the upside here, RSI was slowing down and showing bearish divergence. We can see that the price action was making new closing highs. RSI was trending downward here, and it didn't play out the way you would have thought it might if you were looking for a pullback here. We did actually actually get a spike up that broke through that trend line. So always important to use multiple indicators. Don't just make trading decisions based off of one piece of information here, because false signals can happen. And, this isn't a crystal ball. It's not predicting the future. It's just showing you, hey, momentum was slowing down here. Now, if we were to assess our standard deviation channels and volume profile study, we can see here price pretty much topped out at that +2 standard deviation channel, marking a relatively extreme move to the upside from our blue linear regression line, our line of best fit there. So that would be a potential boundary to watch near 159, 158 or so. As I said as well, 153 marked to hold to the downside for important support. Beyond that, our +1 standard deviation channel and our yellow 21-day exponential moving average are fairly close together, near about 145, 146.
Okay, Joe, I'm going to send it back to you. Any final thoughts on NVIDIA before we move on to your next trade?
Yeah, finally, the trade I'm looking at, it's a poor man's covered call. It's a DECE 155 strike. December 2026 200 strike. So going to be in the name all the way up from 155 to 200 for 2026. Laying out less cash, of course, today while I wait for that trade. So it's just a cheaper way for me to get into the name. If we pull back, we're going to be a lot better off than